Yes guys, welcome back to a brand new video here today, and one that you've been really requesting, and it's been one that's taken quite a while to do, and you know, it's been taking me a little while to kind of wrap my head around what I'm going to do, but we've got there in the end, and this video will decide what my team will be for this year's F1 2020 My Team Career Mode. So I've drawn up a short list, and let's jump into it and let's explain why I think these are good choices, and yeah, let's get this underway. So guys, down below in the description there is a link to a straw poll. You guys can go vote on there for my team, but before you do, pop the brakes, you know, just chill for a second, let's just relax a little bit. I'm going to explain in this video, and hopefully you watch all the way through, the teams that I've selected, the reason why, and also watch the video because in each of these teams I will reveal which power unit I'll be running with that team. So bear that in mind when it comes to making your vote. So let's jump into it and let's get this underway. So option number one is going to be a very simple one, and it's the obvious one to get it out of the way first and foremost, and it's going to be 97 Racing, and it's not going to be 97 as in 9 and a 7, it's going to be 9T with the letter T, 97 Racing, and that is of course representing me, my brand, myself. The power unit, I've got an interrogation mark next to it because I feel like we could go either way on this one. This one doesn't have to be a set engine, so because it's my own team, I could definitely kind of weigh up the options and see how much budget we have, and you know, make our decision or our choice accordingly. Option number two, and it's going to be Team Lotus, not Lotus Renault, not Lotus Racing. It's going to be Team Lotus, but for this one, the power unit with this car will be a Renault power unit, and I think this is going to be an iconic name in F1. You know, like from the history, we know so much about these guys, and if I went with them, it'd probably be like a you know, British racing green and yellow classic color scheme. So I think we definitely bring that team back and do it properly, like they tried to do in 2010, but it kind of went a bit wrong. And you know, Lotus tried it with Lotus Renault in 2015, black and gold, green and gold, or green and yellow, give or take. But that is going to have a Renault power unit in the back of it, so Team Lotus is option number two. Option number three is going to be Manor Racing, and with this team, of course, as it was back in 2016 before they left the sport, they were driving with a Mercedes power unit. So once again, the engine that's going to be associated with this team is going to be a Mercedes power unit. Manor, you know, it holds a soft spot in all of our hearts. You know what they did, they were a great team. They scored 1 point, and there could have been a couple more, but you know, it wasn't to be. But they had good drivers, you know, Pascal Wehrlein and Esteban Ocon were really, really good for them, and I feel like it would be a popular choice amongst the community. So Manor Racing is option number three, and they have a Mercedes power unit. Option number four, and it's going to be Jordan Grand Prix. So this one is going to be bringing back the iconic Bumblebee yellow team, of course, which was run by Eddie Jordan, and they stopped at the end of 2005 to become Midland, and then from Midland they became Spiker, and then from Spiker they became Force India, and they are now currently Racing Point. So we're going to be bringing back possibly Jordan for this one, and I've taken a leaf out of history. So around 2002, give or take, 2001 I believe as well, they were Jordan, Mugen, Honda, and they ran Honda engines in the back of the car. So because of that, the power unit associated with them for this would be a Honda power unit. So it would be Jordan Honda once again in 2020. So that's going to be option number four, and hopefully you guys like that one. That's one of my favorites. Big choice, big fan of Jordan back in the day, the iconic yellow, and I cannot wait to see what you guys think about that one. Option number five is going to be Brawn GP, the one team, one season wonder, the miracle in 2009. That is going to be the next option. Of course, as you'd expect, the associated power unit with this team would be Mercedes power, so we're going to be considering them as our fifth option. A very popular choice, I feel like, and I think one that you guys will really, really like. I've tried to go for some really tricky choices here and really make it hard for you guys. So yeah, Brawn is option number five, and I'm curious to see what you guys think about that one. And finally, the big one. This one is very left field, but I like this one. I really like it. I think this has potential. If you're a really hardcore F1 fan, you will know who this is. It's a team that has never raced in F1 before. They are a team from the future. It hasn't been officially confirmed yet, but it looks pretty likely it will happen. Around 2022, this team will join the grid. Their name is Panthera F1 team. I think it's Panthera. I'm not quite sure how to pronounce it. Or Panthera. Not quite sure. Maybe you guys can choose what pronunciation you prefer. But I'm going to say... Actually, I'm going to say Panthera. Yeah, Panthera F1 team. They are a team, of course, who are rumored to join the grid. They are an Asian consortium, I believe, and they're from Asia, so they're kind of an Oriental team, and they have backing and also some good people on board already in the project. And I believe they've got a pretty good amount of money behind them, and they're looking to take part on the grid once the cost cap takes place in 2022. If you're not familiar about them, guys, I'll leave a couple links down below in the description for some articles regarding their team. You guys can get familiar with it. That is one that I really want to do. I think that's going to be really, really interesting, and kind of taking a step into the future to see what happens. It's not the most clickbaity name for me personally, but you know what? I don't mind. I think it'd be a really, really exciting project and something that I'm really, really keen about. And with them, I'm being logical here. So considering the current affiliations on the grid, so Honda supply both of the Red Bull teams, so that's locked in. That's not going anywhere. Ferrari supply, I believe, has Alfa Romeo, so that's 2 teams, and Mercedes supply 3, I think. And you've got Renault who supply themselves, and McLaren currently. Pretty much it's all taken up, but by 2022, Renault would only be supplying themselves, so there would be some slots available to, you know, offer that to somebody else. So I think for Panthera, it would be a Renault power unit for this team. So Panthera, Renault F1 team, if you will, that would be the final option. And yeah, guys, that is going to be my shortlist. I'm really, really excited by it. I think there's some great choices there. You guys are going to have to think long and hard about this one, and I'm expecting a really close vote, but hopefully you guys look forward to it. And just for disclaimer purposes, I was originally, about a month or 2 ago, in my mind I had Toyota, BMW, Audi, Porsche, and the reason I've not gone for them is because I'm being logical here. All of those teams that I mentioned are manufacturers, and when manufacturers enter F1, they tend to use their own made power unit. So you know, Mercedes, Ferrari, Renault, they all use their own pre-made, you know, manufacturer power unit. You know, back in the day with the V8s, Toyota had their own V8 engine. You know, back in the V10 days, literally there was Peugeot had their own engine. I can't think right now how many, but literally every manufacturer has its own power unit. It's just the way it is, and also it's nothing less than what I would expect from those kind of, you know, names in motorsport. So I've left them out because I feel like having Porsche, Ferrari doesn't quite make sense. You know, BMW, Renault, it doesn't quite work, if you know what I'm saying. So hopefully you guys understand that. We could do it maybe later on down the line, maybe when modding is available on the game, we could maybe do something about that and maybe make it work. But until then, guys, those are going to be my choices, and hopefully you guys vote and look forward to it. I'm not going to be paying attention to the comments, so if you want to, you know, make your vote clear, it has to be in the straw poll. I'll read the comments to get an idea what you guys think of this, but if you say, you know, Braun in the comments, it's not going to factor into the decision. So hopefully I made myself very clear. But guys, that is it for this video here today, and a big one. Really, really happy to announce this, and I cannot wait to get started. But if you enjoyed the video, drop a big fat like on it, guys, and subscribe if you are new for the latest breaking F1 2020 content, guys. I will be all over it, and I cannot wait to share it with you guys. And yeah, please also turn the notifications on, guys, to check out any of the content that drops. You'll be notified straight away when it does happen. And finally, check out the 2 videos that have been on your screen now for some time. But guys, that is it from me here today, and I will see you all in my next one very soon. But until then, it's goodbye from me.